From the Edge of the Web studios, here's what we're looking at this week.
All right, so welcome to the Site Strategics Digital Marketing News Desk. This is actually the bonus news podcast and video for Edge of the Web Radio, episode 357. And I'm your host, Aaron Sparks. Joining me this week to take on the digital marketing news is Paul Lovell of Always Evolving SEO. So thanks for joining us, Paul. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. And hello to all of the Edge of the Web fans.
Yeah, there we go. So we have an Edge Nation that we're trying to create here, and Paul's across the pond, right out of London, on the outskirts of London, or right in London. Where are you?
And the outskirts of London.
Excellent. We certainly appreciate joining us this evening, and thanks for teeing up a great podcast that we're going to be talking about here soon regarding schema and Google Tag Manager. But first and foremost, I had some news coming from Google and a number of digital marketing spots. So you are ready to take a gander at this?
Of course.
All right. From Search Engine Roundtable, I think we are destined to be a purveyor of very scarce information on a regular basis, because he's always there. The Google Page Experience Update. Google's next algorithm update is actually coming next year. Google announced a new algorithm update that will be launching sometime in 2021, and it's tied to core web initiatives that they've been looking at. And the long and short of it is, they are rolling out a review of how users perceive the page experience. And now we've already had a number of factors that we've seen before: page speed, HPS. The metrics that they're paying attention to here dig into basically core website vitals. And if you look at your Google Search Console, there should be a new area available for you. That is Google Google Web Vitals. Core Web Vitals. Let's try that again. And they focus on delivery of excellent experience, right? So they focus on loading, interactivity, and the visual stability of the user experience. And I wanted to focus on that area because that is brand new in the ecosystem here. CLS, Cumulative Layout Shift. That's when, as you're loading up the pages, past first paint, past delivery of first input content, first input delay. It's whenever you're actually scrolling down the page and you have an environment that's shifting on you, shifting navigation, shifting visibility, different areas on the site, potentially even scrolling pieces that interrupt your user experiences. They're actually going to be looking at that and scoring your content based on those factors. In fact, there's an animation there that Jacob's actually throwing up on screen regarding interactivity on the site. So there's a lot of common things that they've been watching for a long period of time: mobile friendliness, safe browsing, HTTPS, and no intrusive interstitials. And that was actually rolled out a good 2.5 years ago. But the CLS, the core, especially this entire concept of core web vitals, are something that you're going to have to pay attention to. And this is kind of the tail end, because anybody who's been delivering good web content knows that you got to pay very good attention to the user behavior. But Paul, what are your thoughts about this new rollout and this tentative or declared algorithm update coming up in 2021?
Yeah, I think it's good. And to be fair, most sites that are driving any sort of real conversion should have been using the likes of like Lucky Orange or Hotjar to be seeing these sort of issues anyway,
right? Just
to improve the user experience whilst the person's on the site. And yeah, obviously there are probably some very clever people out there, maybe some publishers that use like adverts that may be taking advantage of that shifting function.
That's right.
And it looks like they're probably not going to get away with that for much longer. So yeah, it's nothing new. I think is, if you're working on your conversion rate optimization, then you should have been looking at this sort of stuff anyway.
Absolutely. And for publishers that aren't paying attention to what those adverts are actually doing and how they're displaying themselves, they got to pay close attention, and they should actually already be aware of it. But especially from a mobile experience as well, I think this is going to be key, that Google's not only paying attention to AMP, not only paying attention to speed. Speed has been a continued focal point for Google, but what you're doing to your user is now now we have a feedback loop. Now we have something that's directly coming back from Google Search Console. And, we've seen a number of clients that all of a sudden they're pinging some red that we have to pay attention to. What's going on in some of these pages? So with that, I think it's a great sounding board, but I think they've been paying attention to it already for the longest time. Now they're just making it visible to us. Yeah?
Official.
Absolutely. All right. From The Verge, let's go over to The Verge here. A new TikTok clone hit the top of the App Store by paying users to watch videos. TikTok has a new competitor, Zen, a nearly button-for-button clone of TikTok that differentiates itself with one key twist. It pays users to sign up, watch videos, and convince others to follow suit. This is from Jacob Kastrenakes over at The Verge. Now, I'm not a big TikTok fan. You probably already figured that out. I'm not the young buck anymore. I won't go into that dark hole. I'll avoid that at all costs. But the point but TikTok has a huge following, and a clone just spun off here, and now there's some money on the side of this thing. So Paul, are you a huge TikTok fan?
No, my kids use it a lot. Obviously, I did look it up. I got them to look this app up as well, and it's not available in the UK by the look of it. So they can't earn themselves any extra pocket money whilst they're on lockdown. So they're just going to have to take their abuse out on TikTok at the moment until that comes out. But obviously there's got to be a way that they're monetizing it at the end of the day. So let's see where it goes. It's something new. Is it a case that they're going to be running more video ads in there, and where are they going to be pulling them from? So
what are they doing with all this data too, and where's the money coming from? Well, the big distinction is a countdown timer with a $sign in the middle that hovers over every video on Zen. As you watch videos, the timer fills up and gives you points, which you're supposed to be able to redeem later as cash or gift cards. Nothing sketchy there, folks, whatsoever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's going to be people pound on the back end to get visibility.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
And on top of that, I'm sure they're going to be asking for your bank account so they can deliver that cash right in there. Now, everybody be careful. Come on. We certainly applaud any new initiatives out there, but that looks a little bit suspect, at least on the surface.
Yeah. Sometimes things sound too good to be true.
That's right. But what's not too good to be true is our ongoing sponsorship with Ahrefs. It's a fantastic application. Boy, I just went in there and self-indulgent as always, man. Anyway, Ahrefs is a fantastic sponsor of The Edge, and we certainly appreciate their ongoing support. Ahrefs makes a competitive analysis very easy. Their tools show you how competitors are actually getting traffic from Google and why. You can see their keywords, you can see the links and the top pages that are gaining such traffic, so you can actually put together a strategy, deconstruct what they're doing, and eat their lunch. So go over to ahrefs.com. They have a $7 for 7-day trial, so it's almost free. I mean, you get all the tools. It's not a crippled version. You got the full expanse of what they can do for you. Go check it out. Look at some of the great SEO inspection tools and link inspection tools. They've been evolving this software for the longest time, and we're happy to be affiliated with them. So ahrefs.com. All right, Paul, I want to shift back into our last article here. And we wanted to pivot around. Jenny Marvin over at Search Engine Land gave us a quick notice up there that Google Ads credits for small medium-sized business are starting to roll out. Starting on May 27th, Google is beginning the first phase of its program to provide $340 million in Google advertising credits for eligible small, medium-sized businesses. Qualifying advertisers in New Zealand will be the first recipients of this program, and you don't have to apply. They know who you are, and basically the requirements is that you have been running ads during all of 2019, I believe. Or at least 10 out of the 12 months in 2019, and either in January or February of 2020. So this is their COVID relief fund, basically. It doesn't matter if the campaigns were in were run in Google Ads account directly or through a partner. So there's no way actually to apply to the program, but they're going to start rolling out here. So that said, have you heard about this, Paul? What are your thoughts about what Google's doing during this period of time?
Yeah, so they started mentioning this a while ago that they were going to run this out. They were going to sort of give some sort of support back to businesses that have been spending money with them. And yeah, I think it's good. I mean, whenever Google's given away free advertising, essentially to businesses, it's good. They've always done it for the ad grants for charities, which is understandable. But to be giving it back to the businesses that have been spending money with them, especially during these trying times, I think it's a good thing. Can't really say much more than that, really.
Yeah. It's awesome, and we're excited to be able to see what we can provide to our own clients. But you're not hearing Facebook doing this for a bunch. I know they were actually trying to build up a bit of charity or a bit of a relief package, but I haven't heard any deployments since. I think maybe about 2 months ago they were toying around with the idea. I could be incorrect, but I do remember covering something, but I haven't seen anything come to fruition yet. So I don't know if it's in the works or not, but we certainly do appreciate these tech giants being able to help out small business when we're really in need right now.
Exactly, yeah.
Cool. All right, so we want to cover a Google update for you. We try to do this as much as possible as we see things change in the ecosystem. And again, we're always looking at Barry Schwartz over at Rusty Brick to lead the way here. But here's what's happening on the Google side of things. Obviously, we're all aware of the May 4th update. There's SEM Rush rolling out, and you can see the high volatility back in the beginning of the month last month. However, we have seen, and this is kind of like we're doing a weather forecast and weather review here, is that there was still some choppiness and some high volatility in the 29th of May here, just a little while ago. So things are still changing. Things are still are shaking regularly. If you look at the weather for the past 30 days with Moz, we're nice in a nice 82-degree weather, but certainly love to be in the 70s here. So you can see a constant pulse here. If you look at the diagrams, and sorry for our audio listeners, we'll certainly post these up on the show notes. Maybe we'll spin off a slide deck on these things. I think that might be good for the show. So you can see a nice pulse. If you don't have access to these tools, you can deep dive with your own clients. You can at least see these free tools. All these applications are actually sharing these weather patterns here. So Moz is looking kind of choppy there. It's getting back into a comfort zone after the sizable change on May 4th, but we're still looking at some changes here. Whenever you're looking at cognitive actually has a bit more volatility on the 29th there as well. So right before Memorial Day. So pay attention to your rankings. We're not seeing any particular category of note that is really high in volatility, except for news, and news always is. Obviously. Rank Ranger also has a pretty sizable spike. This is the most sizable one since the May 4th updates. So again, just watch your ranks and see. With Rank Ranger, I do want to spin around because they also have a really good unpacking of the search result pieces, the different efforts there. And one of the things I was digging through here were actually something that didn't actually correlate to the 29th change. If you look at this graph, and we'll show it in the show notes, the FAQ and how-to snippets have been changing and have been getting a percentage or two increase of all the inquiries that they're tracking rank on. It's moved from around 17% to a high 18.5%, almost 19% of visible searches since the beginning or the middle of May, around May 18th. This all started to increase. So the FAQs and how-to snippets, and those are affected by schema, are starting to really take another step forward of visibility amongst all of the search results. Another one that we're looking at that had an actually more dramatic arc was the structured snippets. Again, derivative of schema deployment and visibility. More and more SERPs are actually showing the structured snippets on since the 18th of last month. So we didn't see an algorithm core update at all during that period of time. You are seeing some pulses, though, like I was showing in the previous charts, but nothing of sizable measure. But there's certainly some changes here afoot. And the last thing that I was really impressed with, now, again, again, the percentage of queries are very, very low, but there's a sizable percentage drop from around 0.5% of all search queries to almost 1%, right around 8.8%. I'm not trying to dice us up into mincemeat pie here, but for the image thumbnails, they've grown since May 18th as well. And that's a sizable arc right there of change. So with all of that, Paul, I'm kind of laying it out. Huh? We lost Paul? Well, with all that, we want to make sure that you pay attention to these tools, and we'll certainly get Paul back on the line here soon. But for all of us over at Edge, you certainly want to watch the full interview as we get Paul back. But check out and watch your ranks because and unpack some of these tools because they are pretty sharp and showing some advantages that you can take by spinning out your image and your structured snippets. And we're going to be talking to Paul regarding schema optimization here in a bit. So from all of us over at Edge, we certainly implore you, come on over and give us a review. Let us know how we're doing on the show. And be sure to sign up and subscribe and get reminded whenever we go live every Monday at 3 p.m. on YouTube. So certainly from all of us, do not be a piece of cyber driftwood. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.